So what's your name?
Daniella.
Daniella, nice to meet you.
Okay. Nice to meet you.
So I would be really interested to hear about your story, how you ended up out here. If you're willing to talk about, starting with your childhood and.
Yeah, so my childhood, I was born nearby. This is like the Overtown area, so like nearby like Jackson Hospital. I was born in Miami-Dade, like born and raised. And then I grew up kind of like near like the Wynwood area because of my grandparents live in like, like the governmental, like, what's it called? Like, like the government type apartment buildings. And then, so that's in Wynwood. And then I kind of grew up like for high school, Booker T or, like the Coral Gables area. So I went back and forth with like, the train and stuff growing up during high school. And now that I'm 23, I got like my job for the holidays at like Macy's. So I've been like near downtown, so like nearby like the downtown area. And so sometimes I come out here to Overtown or I'll come like nearby, like let's say, the people that I was meeting up with aren't there. I'll probably go like a little bit further down towards like, Wynwood or like maybe around here. Because I know like a few blocks up, you're still heading up towards like Wynwood, towards like the Art Basel. So it's still like a really nice, it's like an area where there's always like stuff going on. So you don't really have to worry about anything in case anything happens or you were expecting like maybe to find something and, maybe.
So you're a local?
You run into something else.
Like
yeah,
you were born and
pretty
raised?
much I'm a local, yeah.
But you said you have a job?
Yeah, I had a job like at Macy's and stuff, so I work like pretty much like a recreative, like with like fashion or any type of like, I wouldn't say like construction jobs or like, anybody has these other kind of jobs in the city, but usually it's like retail and construction during like, any time of the year around like downtown. You see like a lot of construction or like these people, they live in like the condominiums or just the regular apartment buildings. So usually like a retail jobs is usually what I work on.
But that was in the past, right?
Yeah, during the holidays, but I still visit the mall a lot and I still, I still style myself and I try to style other people. Like if they ask me for fashion advice, or like they need like extra clothes or even to like wash up, I'm always visiting like these days I kind of ride out with like a few friends to maybe like a hotel and maybe like I'll wash up and change into like like a more sexy outfit, and then like during the time that I go home I'll just change into like, let's say like a pullover, maybe some leggings and
Where
stuff
do you
like
live?
that. So right now I live like near like the downtown area, so that's usually where I kick it. And then I hit up my other spot this morning, like Coconut Grove is where I used to live. And then I still have my spot out here in Wynwood,
So what's your day-to-day like out here in Overtown?
Day to day, usually when I visit Overtown, I'm usually trying to smoke a little bit. So I'll hang out with some people, some of my friends are out here and, we'll kick it for a minute. Maybe eat like a couple donuts and stuff they're giving out, drink a couple waters. And like try to get a few bucks if somebody's like, bumming a cigarette, 1 or 2 cigarettes or 2. I kind of want a cigarette now. And then, visit like the corner store, grab up a couple snacks, and then just go from there.
So you don't use drugs at all?
I don't use drugs. I do hards. I smoke hards. So it's kind of like crack. It doesn't really get you high. But you can buy it for like $5. It's like a little piece there. It's like a little, it's just like a little buzz there. It's not usually like weed or like anything that will get you like it's not like getting drunk or anything on like beer or anything. But yeah, and that's usually my drug of choice. It's not really like the most epic deal though. Like it's not gonna get you so messed up though. But yeah.
And but it seems kind of like you're living on the streets out here.
I will kind of say like growing up, I wasn't necessarily like a homeless or like maybe like the richest like normal kid on the block where like they have mom and dad to go home to. But yes, I did have parents growing up, like and I even went through like you know, when I was younger, I went through like a short pregnancy when I was like 14. And because,
How did
you know,
that happen?
I had like a little boyfriend in high school, and then, you know, I was really young, like I was only a teenager. And, you know, maybe like on the party, like on the weekends and stuff, we got into like partying and stuff, and I was so young. And I would still visit like the hospital for like, you know, pre-teenager, like just awareness of like different things that can go on. Like, you know, if you don't practice like, you know, anything safe, like, you know, usually when you ask for something out here, like you'll go to the store and buy, let's say, like a condom for like $2, or if you want to go to like a bartender, you'll leave like a tip and maybe just drink like a couple drinks and not go into the car drunk driving and stuff like that. Or if you visit a party, you might have fun with some friends or whatever, and then something might happen. So as a teenager, I was aware of this, and then I did have my baby in the hospital when I was like 14. And then ever since then, I just kind of been like, you know, I've never been like promiscuous or anything. Like I've never gotten involved with a lot of, you know, guys or anything, or gotten involved with like a lot of people, but I was always aware of these things growing up. So I was able to handle that as a young person. But yeah, basically, and that's just it as far as that.
So how do you make your money day to day? Because I mean, I saw you panhandling.
Yeah, how do I make my money day to day? It depends. I might catch a date. These days, I'm trying to catch a date for like, you know, really, really short bucks. Like I don't even charge more than like $40. Maybe
a date.
just yeah, like a date. Maybe to spend like an evening with somebody. Maybe they'll drive me out to like a hotel, and you know, we'll have a couple drinks and maybe conversate for a few, watch some TV, and maybe, you know, just catch a little romance here and there, or, you know, or maybe have something, you know, like a little short trip there, and we'll drive out in the car, and maybe I'll charge like $20 for that. And so I'll get like $20 maybe just for the day. And, you know, like anybody can buy like cheap things, or maybe like grab a couple, you know, snacks here and there, maybe like a water, or maybe go to like the grocery store, maybe ask for like somebody to buy you something if you need something. But maybe $20 is really just all I really need to kill it for me, like maybe for a day. And then, you know, I'll grab some panhandling here and there. Somebody might even shoot me another 20. That way I have 40 for the day. So then that's how I kind of even it out.
Do you feel like you have a drug problem?
I don't feel like I have a drug problem at all. I don't really do drugs. I don't do, like, you know, I tried some of the show cigarettes that they have, which is one of the Dutches that usually people use to smoke weed. I do not smoke weed. I do not do cocaine. I don't drink beer to get drunk. I don't, you know, I don't do any drugs at all, really. So I don't feel like I have a drug problem. The Hardee's, oh yeah, so it's just, you know, it's just hard. So, you know, you get like, you know, you get like a little, like a glass pipe, but like a Bic lighter works pretty good. And then you buy it for $5. It's like a little rock you put on there, you melt it on, and boom, boom. It's like a quick inhale, and it's like the most refreshing thing. It doesn't get me high, but it does, you know. It's hard, so it's like crack. So you basically just take that, and you can buy some more and more, all the hell you like.
It's addictive.
I would say it's a little bit addictive, but you know, it's not addictive for me. You can get off of it. You can go smoke a cigarette instead and stuff like that. So.
And you use it every day?
Not every day. I try to sometimes hang out just for the day and like focus on other things. But I do come out here sometimes and I hang out, and then I'll be looking to grab that up.
And you said you're only 23 years old?
23.
So what do you think it would take for you to get off the streets here?
To get off the streets, I probably need a little bit more counseling, maybe like a phone call to like, you know, like my mom or dad, or even like my uncle maybe, and then maybe we could spend like a summer, maybe like at a summer camp, or like some kind of like a more recreative, like maybe like something with like the MDC or like a college type, maybe like even a holiday job, even now that November's coming through, so the December time is coming around. And I did apply for a job earlier this week. Only thing is that my email password got lost because I haven't used a computer and I haven't had a smartphone in like the longest time. But you know how things change here and there. And you know, maybe if I, you know, get into contact with maybe like a really tight group of friends, then I can probably get something going.
And when was the last time you talked to your family?
Last time I talked to my family, I see my family every now and then. I'd say probably like a year I haven't talked to my family, or I've been kind of like detached, and it's usually because I've been out here. But either way, I know that they're close by and I do see them. maybe like once a month around town. I'll see them like, on the block or in the distance if I'm out like asking people for money or whatever, and then, I'll just take it from there that they're in the area and stuff, and I know that they're nearby and they're safe.
And did you have a good childhood?
Yeah, I had a really good childhood growing up. I always went to school. I always went to summer camps. I always went to the parks. I always went summer vacation to the beaches. And I always visited hotels growing up and went to birthday parties and stuff like that. So I had a pretty good childhood, I would say.
You mentioned counseling. What would you want to talk about, and how do you think that would help you?
For counseling, I definitely go for master's experience with any MDC courses, or maybe a summer camp job. I look into any job experience that they have, maybe to join a local gym, or even any local malls, or maybe a local outstrip or bartender job that they have maybe out here during the area. Maybe pick up a waitressing job, or even try to fetch in a couple dollars maybe on the bus and stuff, and maybe join an early local commute where you can make things easier by trying to get some extra bucks in. Maybe if you figure out how to hop from here and there a little bit more easily, and kind of figure out, okay, well, this is the spot where some people might have some more money, and then I could just jump from here to there rather than just walking around middle of nowhere, and kind of have a plan for the day. I think that'd probably be the smartest idea. But as far as counseling, I'd probably just ask for advice from anybody that's older than you, or anybody in let's say a local office. You might want to give a phone call to somebody, just say, hey, this has been happening right now. I don't know if I could probably maybe call up maybe one of my references, or maybe join in any local help. If I needed an extra job, maybe I could just have you be aware that if you get a phone call this month or whatever, yes, I have been applying and stuff like that. Overtown is actually not what everybody necessarily might think. They might think that it's a really hardcore lifestyle and that it's really hard to take. Yeah, it's a little bit of a struggle out here, to kind of panhandle and kind of make ends meet, but you also have to be aware that you have a community around you, just like any other place in the city. Even if you were, on a bus feed, or just trying to make ends meet, working a day-to-day job, everything is always a challenge. And I think that it's really important to keep your head up and kind of just watch out and just take care of everybody around you. And no matter what, you can always find me with a smile on my face. And every day that I wake up, it's never so much of a struggle for me, just to know that I have people around me that kind of care about me, and that will be there for me at the end of the day. So
thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
I wish you the best as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.